Jennifer in San Jose. Hi, Jennifer. Welcome to the EntreLeadership podcast.
Hi, I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for taking my call.
I'm honored to talk with you. How can we help?
So I am the founder and the CEO of a childcare preschool business. We have 4 locations. We've been open for about 10 years. We do own 3 of the 4 buildings. We hold title, though, with an SBA loans for each of those 3. And last year, our revenue was about $1.6 million, and we have 30 employees.
Cool.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I do love, conceptually, I love the work. During COVID, being in administration for schools was really hard. The preschools did suffer financially, and it was really challenging on our family emotionally. And then right when things were feeling better, one of our sites also experienced a completely devastating fire.
Oh, no.
Which we have since repaired and reopened last year. So needless to say,
business is not for sissies, is it?
No, it's not. We've learned that over the last 10 years. Definitely not for sissies. I love that.
Yeah, you got some calluses. Way to go.
Yeah. So we definitely became scared during those few years. I would say that's the best word to describe us as business owners. Emotionally, financially, spiritually. So my husband and I, we felt like, I guess the word would be diversifying our income, and we both went and got second jobs while we own these childcare centers. And so now, fast forward a couple of years, we have 4 kids, by the way, but we continually are questioning, if we're doing too much, we get overwhelmed easily. And I really worry that something's going to suffer from our lack of attention. So I'd love to know some of your thoughts about moving forward with these second jobs that we hold, with the businesses. They do run on their own. We have an executive director who I work with, who holds the space really well, and we've trusted her for years for the preschool. So I guess I'm just trying to decide how to be the best mom, wife, and business owner that I can be, and being careful in my steps at this point in life. My oldest has just started middle school, and it feels like kind of a fragile time. So I want to make a plan.
Rather than reacting to the wounds that we all get in business, or reacting to a needy teenager, I would probably pan back and say, all right, what does my world look like when these kids are all in college and leaving college and I'm an empty nester? What do I want my world to be then? Does that world, when I have a clear picture of that world, and this is you and your husband sitting on the back porch with your Bible open and a cup of coffee, right? And you're going, okay, God, what's our world look like a decade from now, it sounds like? Because the oldest is middle, so that puts them out of college, right? So a decade from now, does the picture of the world that we want to paint for our lives include owning these things, these daycares? And if you go, yeah, well, then this is some fear that's been speaking to you that's not true, okay? So we play long term. We play long ball with our decision-making, because short-term decision-making will always, fear will always drive that one. But the way I get courage when I'm afraid is I look past that. And so that's exactly what we did during the Fauci pandemic. We looked past it and said, okay, how are we going to, how's the post-pandemic world going to look for Ramsey? Because we had just like you did. I mean, we didn't have a fire, but when you have entire segments of revenue that evaporate. Now, what are you going to do? And how are you going to keep 1,100 people fed and the payroll made and all that stuff? And so, meanwhile, there's a bunch of crazy butt people out in the world decide that they know how to run your business. And that, all this. So in the middle of all that, how do you look past? Well, you look past it. But you got to make the decisions in the moment when you're dealing with a fire or you're dealing with the pandemic. But if you're looking past it, you now are an experienced, excellent small business owner. Now, do you know what it takes? You don't have any illusions as to how hard this is. It's hard. You don't have any illusions that it's going to be automatic. It's not automatic. You got to scratch and you got to claw. You don't have any illusions. But the good news about all that is you're a realist now. You're not a dreamer anymore. And so you can look at this and go, as a realist, is this what is carrying the weight of this something that I want to do, that I can do, versus the returns that come from owning it because I like the work, I like the profit 10 years from today? If the answer is yes, that this is a part of your picture, then you gut it through this time, and you say, okay, I'm gonna step back a little bit, let this executive director run it, and lean into these teenagers a little bit. But do you have to sell it to be a good mom to teenagers? No, you don't have to. But would you change maybe some of your operating principles for a period of time? Yeah, you might. And then you may look out there and go, 10 years from today, I don't want to own this. Well, then maybe now is the good time to sell it. So that you get the money in your pocket, you get that portion of your life back to pour into teens as their last their last decade at home here that you've got with these kiddos. So I just, the way I make better decisions when I'm got some fear or some tenderness from a wound or two that's causing me to hesitate, is I look forward far enough and I ask myself, is this what I want it to look like? If it's not what I want it to look like, then I need to get about the business of changing it, because otherwise you're just doing this by default instead of by strategy and by plan, and that's what we want to avoid. I can't tell what you're going to do from listening to you. Sometimes I have a feeling that you've already sold it and you just wanted me to tell you. I didn't hear that here. I just heard somebody who's got some scars and some calluses and is trying to figure out if it's worth it or not. And that's okay. It's an okay question. Do I want to keep doing this with my life? You did it one time, and that's what got you here, but there's nobody said that you have to keep it. You can have an exit strategy. There's nothing wrong with that at all. I think you're amazing, by the way. I think you did a great job. You've survived all kinds of hell. I mean, there's COVID, and then there's COVID in California. Good Lord. That's a whole different level of nuts, and you survived both of these things. Good, you gotta be a warrior, a princess warrior, man. I mean, it's like Xena on the phone here, so that there's no question. You're amazing. But you can choose not to do that, though. That's okay.